Welcome everyone to the Long Beach Gives info session. We're happy to have you here today. I would like everybody to, if you would like to introduce yourself in the chat box, that's great, and your organization. If you have any questions, please post them up in our Q&A box. We will make every effort to answer those questions during the session. And we're just really glad that you're here. Save that date, September 24th. We're excited for this year. And I wanted to say, we're just really looking forward to a really strong campaign this year for 2020. So welcome to everyone. I'm really looking forward to what we're looking forward to do this year. Just to jump into a couple of things, we have over 135 people registered for this info session today. So thank you for those of us that can take time to be with us today. And without further ado, we're just gonna jump right into it and get right to the meat of what we're looking to do. So I'd like to introduce Michelle Byerly, the Executive Director of TNP, to welcome us this morning.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I see some familiar faces and names popping up in the chat, so it's nice to see everyone here. Welcome to our Long Beach Gives info session. We are really excited to be a part of the planning team again this year. The nonprofit partnership has been working for 27 years to help support nonprofits in the community. I just want to remind you really quickly as we get started, if you have questions and you just joined us, please put those in the question and answer box. If you don't have that available on whatever device you're using and you need to use the chat, we'll try to monitor that as well, but they will be brought to our attention in the Q&A. But again, I just want to thank everyone for being here today and taking the time away. We know that there's a lot of things that are taking your attention at the moment, and with the current state of the community, nonprofits are being asked to serve in many different ways, whether that's staying in and closing their doors or tripling their services and using whatever operating funds they have to serve the communities. And so we just want to thank you all. Thank you for your work, whether it's your work in keeping everyone safe or your work in keeping people occupied, having live streams, serving basic needs in the community. All of it matters. That's why our nonprofits matter, and that's why we also really felt strongly about having Long Beach Gives again this year, because we know when we open back up, it's going to look different and our nonprofits are going to need help more than ever. And so we're happy to be able to do this again this year. We want to just remind everyone that there's still community support for nonprofits out there. So continue to reach out to your volunteers, to your donors, let them know what you're working on or what you're doing right now. Work on your annual report, send that out to your funders and to the people who support your work throughout the year. What you do matters, and we want to thank you for all the work you do, but also we want you to continue to share that message. So don't shy away from sharing that. We know there's a lot of opportunities coming up in the community for nonprofits to either get funding to be part of the response for the community, but also to raise funds to continue to serve those that they do. So we have locally the Long Beach Community Foundation Rapid Response Fund, and we know some of our local nonprofits have already received funding, over 30 nonprofits, to do work right now. So thank you for that. And we also have Giving Tuesday Now coming up. So hopefully if you joined us last year for Long Beach Gives, you have some skills you can put to use on May 5th when Giving Tuesday is opening up a little bit early, just in response to the COVID-19 crisis and helping nonprofits with their recovery. So those are great places to use your skills or practice for September 24th. And if you are looking for more information on that, TNP is providing resources and webinars and trainings, and all of those resources are also listed on our website at tnpsocal.org. And also you can find a lot of other resources on longbeachgives.org as well. And so I just want to quickly introduce the team who's been working hard to get Long Beach Gives kicked off for the year, and also to present today in the info session. So you see their lovely faces on your Zoom screens, but our leader and person in charge, Julie Meenan, Executive Director of the Josephine S. Gumbiner Foundation. Without Julie and her support for nonprofits, we would not have Long Beach Gives. So Julie will be here to talk to us in a little bit. She'll be next. Yeah, we can all give her a thumbs up. And then we will have Christina Krieshbaum, Program Manager from the Nonprofit Partnership. Christina is in charge of all of our professional development, education, and leadership programs at TNP, and she also manages all of the coordination and planning for the training that goes alongside Long Beach Gives, which makes it such a unique program and a really great resource for the nonprofits in Long Beach. And then we are very excited this year to have a campaign director. So Nico Galvez has joined the team, yay! And we will have a person dedicated and focused 100% of their time on helping all of the nonprofits succeed in Long Beach Gives. No pressure, Nico. And Nico will introduce herself a little more later, but it's already been a huge support to the entire program and campaign. So we're really happy to have Nico here today and for the next year. So what you can expect today, I'll just go over a quick outline of the program we're doing. I'm just giving you a little update on nonprofits and where we're at right now. We'll have a reflection of the 2019 campaign from Julie. After that, we'll be looking ahead to 2020, and Nico will give an overview of the plans we have for the Long Beach Gives campaign. And then Julie will come back and share more about the selection process and application process for nonprofits, some of the requirements there. And then Christina will give a brief overview on the training opportunities that we have planned. And that's always an open opportunity for you also to share either today or as we go through the training process, what would be useful to you. And then we'll answer your questions. If there's any questions that we feel like we need to answer during the presentation, we may do that, but otherwise we'll be holding most of those questions to the end. If you do have to leave early, you can still submit your questions and we will be answering those, and you'll be able to view the recording of this later on. And so you may see that. And then there's also a lot of information on the Long Beach Gives website. And so we'll review what else you can find there as well. So I just want to thank you all again for being here today. I want to thank the Dream Team, the planning committee that's here presenting today. And then I will hand this off to Julie.
And I got to unmute myself. And we really appreciate you taking time to attend this info session. We've really been doing a lot of extra work trying to reach out to nonprofits within the community to make them aware of this. Without any events, fundraisers, galas, or walks, it's been much more challenging just to reach out to folks via email and social media. So many of you might recognize this slide. This is from Giving USA. Giving USA annually presents to the Nonprofit Partnership. And what's really striking about this slide is that 70% of donations are given by individuals, and only 16% from foundations. And so as a foundation, we were feeling a little stretched in that there's so much more need within the community that we're unable to serve. And, you know, how do you increase those, the number of individual donors who primarily are giving to religious organizations and to churches, 31% and 14% respectively, with just 12% going to human services. So we needed to try to figure out how to increase that pie for the nonprofit community in particular. So that was kind of the seed that was planted to do this. So then we moved on to, next slide, to my role at the Josephine S. Gumbiner Foundation. And I had returned to school to get my MSW and needed to do an internship and was placed at the Nonprofit Partnership. So for the feasibility study that I did was on giving programs throughout the United States and actually the nation. And as Michelle said, Giving Tuesday would be the one that most folks would be familiar with. So I studied the giving programs, talked to individuals to see how they made them successful. Many in Monterey County, they raise, you know, millions of dollars, but they're on their 10th year. And others like Santa Cruz Gives has a community more similar to Long Beach. And so we studied them and found out how to make programs most successful. So I presented to my board of directors and said, hey, this could probably work here, but we're going to need some seed money and to contract with the Nonprofit Partnership to be able to offer trainings so that these nonprofits that are going to participate can be successful in raising money through social media on a crowdfunding platform. So why is it important to raise money online? There's the slides are, there we go. There was a study in 2017, Giving Tuesday, the median age of donors online is 25 versus 65 for traditional donors. 63% of donors online are women. For Facebook donors, 73% of 473,000 had never given through a platform before, and 30% were new donors to organizations. So there's a lot of opportunity out there to be able to raise funds online, but you really need to be set up to do that and have a good story and a strong platform and a good appeal. So we did that last year for Long Beach Gives. The nonprofits received excellent training, a lot of support to increase their capacity on social media. And we launched the campaign a week early on September 9th with a soft launch. And then we really ramped up our marketing within the community and our publicity, and the city council signed on, and the mayor did a video. And there was just a lot of excitement within the community around Long Beach Gives on September 19th. And you see the results here. We raised $822,000. Our goal initially was $250,000, so we kind of blew that out of the water. What's significant on this chart is 51% of that money was raised online. So those are basically, we're hoping, more newer donors to the organization, and 49% was offline. So those would be typically the checks in the mail. There were 782 individuals that donated more than once, and Nico will talk about the shopping cart option that we'll have this year. And we had 3,772 donors. Kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. And the campaign was exceptionally successful because we had these peer-to-peer fundraisers, and that's when an individual, maybe a board member or a typical strong donor to your organization, sets up a peer fundraising page and reaches out to their network, to their social network, to their members in their book club, to their friends, and to tell them that I support this organization and I really would like you to support it as well, because right now they're really doing great services and could use your support. So 871 set up those individual pages, and that income averaged $250 per person. So we were kind of blew the stats away for typical Gives days. And the reason we were able to do that is because Long Beach is such a great and significant community. Everyone says it's, just got this really strong heart, a very strong nonprofit sector, and they all come together strongly, as we've seen with the rapid response funding. And so what we're hoping is that we can come to September and our life has returned a little bit more to normal, and we're able to do this campaign with excitement and cheer and encouragement and reaching out to the community again in a positive, support our nonprofits ways. And I believe that we can do this with being very, very creative with our marketing, and getting that excitement from you and setting you all up to be successful as well. So it's going to be bigger, it's going to be better, and hopefully the other goal will be that you will have this training that you can carry forward as you go on with your own marketing and fundraising. And now I would like to introduce Nico, who's the backbone of the whole steering committee, of the planning committee, and just doing a really great job. And here I am in my Easter dress. So here's Nico. Take it away.
Hi everyone. I can't see myself, so I don't know. Oh, okay. Hi. I'm glad to virtually meet you all, and I can't wait to meet you all and see you all again in person. So yeah, we are in these new days, hopefully temporary, and there's just a couple ways that we still want to connect. So if you want to have a virtual coffee, do a Zoom call. We're trying to brainstorm different ways that we can support your efforts. So whether we do some small group workshops in addition to the trainings, you need some one-on-one mentorship, some marketing advice, I am available, and we have a couple ways to get in touch with me, and we'll send these slides so you'll have this information. Next, I'm going to go over, we have a really exciting announcement with our new fundraising platform, and we're going to go more in depth at the orientation for the selected participants, but I'm just going to kind of breeze through these slides to give you an overview of the exciting news. So we're moving over to Civic Corps. They have over a decade of Giving Day experience. They manage, I think, about 130 events with over 60,000 nonprofits. So there's a lot more peer learning opportunities for us and access to a lot more resources and technology, and we're really excited. Some of the orientation that's really, the increased functionality is the organizations will have access to their own dashboard. So you can log in and see real-time data, what your donors are doing. I got a notice that my speaker isn't working. Can folks hear me, or?
It's just a little crackly, Nico. I don't know if there's anything you could do about it. We could still hear you. It's just crackly.
Okay.
That's better, I think, when you're closer. I think.
Okay, I'll move in. So yeah, you're gonna have access. So rather than going through us for data, you can log into your own dashboard and follow your donors, connect with your peer fundraisers. And we'll, of course, have trainings on how to best use the platform. Another exciting thing is more customization to your giving page. You can add video, you can add images, more share functionality, so you can share right from the dashboard. That will be great to really reach your donors so they can learn more about your organization. Something else we will do is trying to make it easier for your supporters to sign up for peer fundraisers and define your organization. So the leaderboards, which are actually like, I guess, the search functionality or the ratings, we can filter by arts organizations, by area. There's just a bunch of different ways for new donors to find out what they're passionate about. We're really excited about that. And then another option is the checking cart or shopping cart kind of functionality. So a lot of donors do like to give to more, and it's not necessarily that they spread their donation across many. It's actually that they increase their donation by offering options for similar nonprofits that they might want to donate to. So that might be by category or by area. One question we got a lot was about the fees. So the fees are kept low. We do a lot of fundraising to keep those fees low, and it's comparable with other giving platforms. So maybe, gosh, that's one on Facebook that we all do. I can't, GoFundMe. So it's comparable, those fees. And another great option is that donors are, can cover those fees. And so all of their donation goes straight to the nonprofit. Next, I wanted to talk a little bit about the participant requirements. Again, we'll send you these slides, and we'll have a Q&A at the end. But a few things to highlight is you do have to be a 501c3 nonprofit organization or have a fiscal sponsor. Another thing is the service area. So this is Long Beach Gives, and we do really want to support our local community. And, you know, we know that some organizations might have their admin office in Torrance, for example, but are in a bunch of schools here locally, or a domestic violence shelter who can't disclose their shelter address, but serves our residents and is active in our community. So if you have any questions about that, you know, give us a call and we can figure out your eligibility. Another thing we just wanted to highlight about the requirement is the necessity for the nonprofits. This is a crowdfunding effort, so we are strongest as our we're stronger together. And so everyone really promoting and being online and going Facebook Lives and reaching out to their peer fundraisers and having their peer fundraisers share. We know in this time, there might be some moving around with staffing, and we understand that. So we give an estimate of 20 to 40 hours. It's not something we track at all. It's just to kind of help folks considering participating to plan out the next few months and see where their time is. And then the next slide is just a few notes about the application. We pared down the application. It was short last year. It's even shorter this year. We really wanted you to be able to focus on everything else that's going on right now. And so it's on Google Forms. It'll be on this new platform next year, but just be prepared to do it at once. You can't really save it. I think you can kind of edit it at the end, but we've created a PDF version with all the questions so that you can kind of draft those out and prepare before you actually start submitting, because once you start, you got to finish. And then another thing to note is we only have 2 narrative questions and we kept them short. So 500 characters for your mission, 1,500 for how you benefit Long Beach, and that's characters, not words. And another note is the questions are really to make sure that the Long Beach Gives Steering Committee includes a different types of organizations. So whether that's category or budget size, we just don't want anyone to be intimidated by those questions. We really want to reach out to different types of organizations. And then the other thing is we have a really comprehensive, large FAQ question. So we're definitely open to answer all your questions by phone or a Zoom meeting, but we also have that FAQ page and the links that, here in the presentation, but we'll also send it to you afterwards. So feel free to check that out, and we'll also add any questions that come up in the webinar that we haven't addressed. And then to end, I just want to reiterate that this is a digital fundraising campaign. So you will be online a lot, which, you know, unfortunately the timing does call for that. So we just wanted to reiterate that. So we aren't your everyday fundraiser. This is an online fundraising campaign. We do want to reach out to organizations who maybe will be setting an Instagram account for the first time, and that's great, and we love that. But we also want you to be ready and interested in setting up an Instagram account and going live on your Facebook, and we'll have some trainings on that, and I'm also willing to do some one-on-one mentorship, but we just want to reiterate that be ready to be online. And then I think Julie is going to talk about the application deadlines and the selection committee, and we'll be back in a few, or I'll be back in a few to answer some questions.
Hello, everyone. I am looking at the attendee list, and there's lots of new names and new organizations that didn't participate last year, and I want you to know that that's really not going to be a factor in the selection process. We're going to have an independent selection committee that this year will be able to be much more inclusive as opposed to exclusive. And the deadline date for the application you can see here is Friday, May 1st at 5 o'clock. And Nico just covered the application. It doesn't take a long time to fill it out. It's just got some very basic criteria, particularly that the organization provides services in Long Beach. The reason that's so important is that's where we're marketing, and that's where we're focusing our publicity. And in order to generate excitement about this, we need to keep it geographically focused, especially when it's really hard to get above all the noise of the COVID-19 situation. So it's really why we're specifically saying Long Beach. So I know there are organizations that offer great services that are interested in applying, but it just doesn't make sense because it'll be very difficult for you to be successful. And this selection committee will look through the applications and get those that meet the requirements, and everyone will be notified on Friday, May 8th. So the selection criteria is that we want a wide range of organizations from small grassroots startups to national in scope. For instance, the YMCA participated last year, as well as Filipino Migrant Center. So, you know, it's just a real broad range. We are looking for a diverse funding base, not organizations that are, you know, primarily government funded or that are larger foundation funded, just across the board. And the goal is to increase the number of individual donors. So that's what we're really hoping to allow you to do. We want a variety of categorical programs, from animals to homeless prevention services. All the categories are listed on the website. But that's also important because we want a broad range of organizations to be served that serve the community to reach those clients and supporters. So they'll go in there to support maybe an animal rights group and might say, oh, I've not heard about this other group. Let me see what they do, and go to the Appeal Story and become a donor of that organization as well. So that's really significantly important. I found that out through my feasibility study. The impact and the demand of your mission critical services that are taking place right now in order to be successful, that there's a broader network of support for what you are doing, and represent diverse communities. That's demographically, ethnically. We really want to reach out to all sectors and have them included as well. And then you have a compelling appeal story. And that is really speaking to what you put in your application. Some organizations have great names, but sometimes it's really hard to kind of figure out what you do, as opposed to, let's say, Meals on Wheels. So tell us exactly what you do within the community, within your appeal story, even though you don't have a bunch of space. So, we really are trying to include more organizations this year. Last year, capacity was really an issue. That was the number of seats that were available for the trainings. And now we have, basically an unlimited number of seats, but you still need to meet the selection criteria. And for those new organizations that didn't participate last year, all the trainings are new, and actually they're going to be improved because we learned a lot last year with it being our first year. So it might give you a little bit of a disadvantage, but you'll certainly catch up and be able to participate at the same level. And we need you to make the magic happen, as Willy Wonka says. And next, I would like to remind you again the deadline date, May 1st. And the application, you will be notified on May 8th. And we have, we're now going to go to Christina, who is the one that schedules all of the trainings and does a fantastic job with bringing in presenters that are top-notch and high quality, and many are going to be back, and we're going to have some new ones too. So here's Christina.
Hi, everybody. So thank you again so much for joining us today. We're really looking forward to a robust training schedule for everyone, and trying to make sure that we meet your needs. So in terms of the training, so once you get approval or you're selected and approved as a participant in Long Beach Gives, we want to make sure that you save these 2 dates. So you see on your screen right now, Tuesday, May 19th and Thursday, May 28th. These are 2 orientation dates. The topics will be different for each date, so it's important that you do make, or you do have somebody attend both dates. And we already received one question specifically, and this is a little bit of a rollover from last year, but we do ask that you designate a champion for your organization who will attend or kind of drive your campaign. And while last year it was very limited on how many people could attend trainings, this year there is no limit. So absolutely, if you have a team of people that are interested in attending the trainings, they can all sign up and attend. If you have just a small crew, that's great. Everybody can attend, and all of the trainings will be recorded. And we may be able to make those available to you for viewing afterwards. We're going to try and make sure that you can watch them as many times as you need, so that way you get a real sense of how to construct this campaign. So just book those dates if you can, just to save the date for right now, those orientation dates, May 19th and May 28th. And then as far as for the trainings themselves, we really try to make sure that you are given as much access to all of the resources that you need to handle this full campaign. So we do a social media training, understanding the different types of platforms, how you can engage your followers, how you can build a stronger following. We have already received a couple of questions of that, like, what if you're new? What if your organization is new to social media? That's okay, that's great. Yeah, if we're starting from scratch, that's fantastic. What a fantastic way to introduce yourself to the entire community as part of this citywide campaign. So we will walk you through all the different platforms, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and really help you assess where's your audience, because not every organization has the same audience everywhere. So we will cover that in social media. We will also cover digital assets, and it's a full walkthrough of Canva, which is one of the primary platforms that we use to create different assets, different photos or flyers or even branding for this. And our trainer will walk you through how to manipulate these graphics so that you can create dynamic graphics that will engage your audience, that will drive people to your campaign, that will drive people to donate, something that really reflects the mission of your organization and how you can tell your story both through words, but also through visuals. She'll walk you through video creation as well. So, so even those that feel a little bit nervous about seeing yourself on video, we're going to help you feel comfortable by the end of all of this. And then we will give you full training on this new platform that we're using for Civicor. So you will get an understanding of how to set up your page. It's very simple. I love these real quick options. How to help your peer fundraisers set up their page, another really quick, simple process. But they will walk you through all of that and understanding the dynamics and how to manipulate your dashboard, what type of information you're going to see. You will have it all for you. That peer fundraising is what really makes these campaigns fly. So engaging your entire community as supporters for this campaign, people who you would be surprised, people who you thought wouldn't be interested in doing something like that can jump right on, can engage their friends and their family members, and also supporting a cause that they really truly support as well. So we will walk you through all of that. And then we also do a full fund development training so that you understand the dynamics of fundraising online and you understand how it functions, but also how you can really set your goals for this. So the goal that you set at the beginning may be different than the goal you end up with. Even the Long Beach Gives campaign, we upped our goal several times when we saw us reaching our goal each and every time, and we were like, do we raise it again? Absolutely, keep going. We were absolutely blown away last year when our original goal was $350,000, and we ended up helping you guys, and you all ended up raising over $820,000. So, so that goal really goes into, you know, what you're looking to raise and for what programs are you looking to fund for, or is it the overall organization? Our fund developer trainer will really help you zero in on what your focus is going to be and how best to bring that story forward. And then we'll also combine that training with the last one you see on that screen there, storytelling and messaging. And with that, we really talk about what's the best way to make your case for giving for your organization. Not every organization has a really soft feel to it or what have you. So our trainer actually helps you identify the best ways to frame a case for giving so that people are really engaged and really interested and want to give over and over and over again. And the idea behind all of these is that you become prepared to continue fundraising online and continue engaging these donors, many of them new donors for you, hopefully, in a really compelling way. So that hopefully you continue this ongoing and this becomes a real sustainable, viable option for your organization. Just remember that I'm going to come back to deadline date. Deadline for the application, May 1st. Thank you for pulling those up again. So May 1st, deadline for that application by 5 p.m. We will notify all applicants, so by May 8th, and then those orientation dates, the 19th and the 28th. You can save those on your calendar. That would be good just to kind of keep those options open. Hopefully we'll be accepting everybody here on this call today, but we'll just see how that kind of rolls out with the selection criteria. And then at the orientation dates, you will get the full training calendar for all of those other trainings. They will all be online. They will all be recorded and made available for Long Beach Gives organizations to view repeatedly, so that way you can really get the feel for things. And we do encourage that you have a champion declared for your organization. And by that, we mean someone who's really driving your campaign, someone who reads all of the material, helps engage everybody, helps get everybody excited, is the person that constantly is, you know, not constantly, but always posting up with the hashtag Long Beach Gives. That's what we're looking for, is consistency in this, and consistency for your organizations. We do understand that sometimes that's difficult to have one particular champion designated at each time, and you can share those responsibilities. But as much as possible, it really does help an organization succeed if you have one particular person who's really driving a driving force behind the campaign. So all in all, just know that we know this is new for a lot of us, and we know that there may be some apprehension, and that's why we are so, we're really looking to prepare you as much as possible, but we are so grateful to have Nico in place, because she will be your go-to person for these questions and helping you just figure out the process. So you have those key dates there on the screen. And for now, we can jump over to Q&A. I'd like to bring back in the team, and we can answer any questions. And in truth, we don't have any questions posted up in that Q&A just now. So if you do have any, we'll vamp for a few minutes while we give us some time to ask any questions that have come up for you. We really try to be as thorough as possible. And in truth, I know many of you have already checked out the Q&A on longbeachgives.org. It is thorough, it is organized, it's amazing, and I give all kudos to Nico and Julie for putting that up. But it really does explain a lot of what kind of the different questions that you would be having. One question that has come up is, are the trainings free? Yes, they are. For all participating organizations, the trainings are free, they're up and available. Oh, sorry, Julie.
Go ahead. I just wanted to, I have 2 points I want to bring up.
Oh, perfect. So yes, they are. There aren't any charges, but go ahead, Julie.
Hi, I'm sorry. I forgot to bring up a couple points that I was supposed to mention, and I feel very, very strongly about the first one. I would like to encourage you all to become members of the nonprofit partnership. The contract that they wrote needs to be raised. I need to raise the money to support the trainings and the program that they're offering, and it doesn't near as much cover what really they put into it. And I really would appreciate if you would consider becoming becoming members of the nonprofit partnership. It is optional, but they really do great work all year long and deserve to be supported by us. And they've been doing these fabulous webinars and really offering cutting edge information to us. And I'd really encourage you to do that. And the second point that I want to bring up is Long Beach Gives was very successful. There were about 10 organizations that raised above $20,000. One raised $52,000, but the average raised was $6,000 between those 93 organizations. Every organization did raise something, the least of which was $500. And so I just want you to know that come September, it might not bring in exactly what your goal is. Our community's been very stretched and been very generous, and we don't exactly know what the community is going to look like. And I know a lot of organizations are really struggling right now with having to cancel their galas and walks and events. So September is a ways away. So I hope that you are doing your scenario planning and being realistic about what the future holds. And I don't mean to be such a downer, but that's kind of where we're all sitting right now in the nonprofit sector.
Thank you for your points, Julie.
Okay, so a couple questions that have come up, and I think there were some questions in the chat. So if you could just answer them, ask them again in the Q&A. We'll try to catch them, but then it helps us afterwards because we can update the FAQ page. So one question was the 20 to 40 hours is 20 to 40 hours for the whole campaign. So that covers like the next 4 or 5 months. You know, there'll be chunks, like, you know, there's the trainings, there's getting up your org page, and then of course the day of, which calls for more time. But that's 20 to 40 hours over the whole entire campaign over the next 4 to 5 months. And then another question we have is, the TMP membership. Michelle or Christina, do you want to answer that one?
Can you ask
If the
the
TMP
question?
membership is for 1 year.
I can't see the question. I imagine it is the cost of
Okay.
membership. There's a sliding scale for organizations starting at 125 a year, going up to 550, depending on your organizational budget size. There's more details. If you've put your email or you identify who you are, we can send you a direct email, or you can email info@tmpsocal.org and we can set up a time to talk about that. But it is a sliding scale starting at 125.
Sorry, and the question specifically was asking about if it's an annual or if it's annual from the date of joining. So it is from the date of joining. So if you were to join today, April 23rd, it would expire next year, April 23rd. So, yeah.
Or 30th, probably.
And one of the questions is, how are the donors that visit the Long Beach Gives website or program introduced to new organizations that also participate in the campaign? Very, very good question.
I can give an example of one of the TMP board members went on to support an animal rescue that they had fostered animals through, and then shared at our board meeting that then she just went around and started looking at new nonprofits and ended up donating to 6 nonprofits. So I think that once they're on the platform, they start looking around and seeing what other nonprofits are out there. They may, Long Beach Gives may also trigger, they may notice it more if they're on social media. So they may look at another nonprofit posting using that same hashtag or being tagged in Long Beach Gives posts. And so that's just one example of how donors end up donating to multiple nonprofits when they've gone on potentially to donate to one.
In the Long Beach Gives campaign, a lot of our efforts are sharing all the work of all the organizations. So we'll do it on our social media. The platform has some really great new functionality features. So there'll be different ways that the, kind of like Michelle mentioned with the featured nonprofits that will rotate during for all the different participants. There'll be ways that donors can search by category. It will have a lot of different ways for new donors to find new organizations, and we're really excited about that. I think there was a question about impact funding. So we are doing a lot of calls and talks with other giving days, and with our platform is doing a lot of trainings, and we don't know, actually. This is kind of a new world. A lot of conversations have been about the 2008 financial crisis, and I don't want to make too many comparisons because we honestly, we don't know. And they have seen an increase in funding, but they're kind of estimating it'll come in waves. So what wave will be in September, we can't necessarily predict, but a lot of this will also be about introducing yourself to new donors. So maybe we get more donations and we get a less average amount, but we do really want to keep pushing through with some hope about how much we're going to raise this year. One other question was about fiscal sponsorship. So give us a call about that. We do need to have, there's some paperwork, your W-9 and some other paperwork that selected participants will be filling out that we'll go over in the orientation. But you do need to have your fiscal sponsor secured around that time. So I'd still encourage you to apply or give us a call to talk about it further. But you will need that fairly soon because we start training, we start putting, announcing all the participants and developing your individual giving pages or your organization giving pages. So we really do want that to be set. Is there any?
I can take the next question. It's was the foundation giving last year focused on just a few select nonprofits? And no, it wasn't. Somebody's battery's running low. What we did was
go ahead.
Raised there was a steering committee that met and really made a lot of the decisions around moving the campaign forward, and they all brought just incredible resources to the table for us to do things right, and we were able to raise $120,000 towards the campaign. That included the platform and some prize money, as well as the kickoff campaign that we had, which was a nice event, and some of the other associated expenses. And that was Zaida Garcia with the Munzer Foundation, Giselle Fong with the California Endowment, Christina Michelle Griselda Suarez with the Arts Council, and Marcel Epley with the Long Beach Community Foundation. Those individuals are all coming back, and we're looking to add a few more folks to this steering committee for 2020. But we were very fortunate to have campaign sponsors, including the partnership, the Munzer Foundation, Laserfish, the Business Journal of the Port of Long Beach, the Miller Foundation, and the Aquarium of the Pacific, and of course the Gumbiner Foundation. But as you all know, raising money during this time is incredibly difficult. So I'm not sure exactly how we're going to get where we need to be, but the foundations that funded the campaign funded it across the board, not just specifically for their own grantees.
We aren't seeing any more questions in our Q&A box. If you have any, we will certainly just wait a few more minutes, because I know that some people are kind of processing some information. And but we do just want to say that we really are looking forward to a strong campaign this year. We're looking to getting everyone prepared, and the magic does happen through all of you. It is no joke. We can do as much as we can on the back end and get everything prepared, but it's you engaging with your supporters and your donors and building a new community online. If you don't have a strong community online, it's getting your organization out there, your mission, your programs, helping everybody understand what that's about, and making a strong case for giving. So we're here to prepare you for all of that, and ideally our wonderful Long Beach community and beyond, we had donations come from all over, will respond hopefully as well as they did last year. Yes, so the question that came up is, will TNP be offering any training specific to Long Beach Gives? We are offering all the training specific to Long Beach Gives. So all the ones that we discussed in the training slide of the social media, the Canva training, this fundraising training and storytelling, peer fundraising, training on the platform, all of those are being run through TNP specific to Long Beach Gives. So we also are running, of course, our standard programming. So we have Sweeney May, who does our social media training for Long Beach Gives, is also doing a digital marketing training on her own for organizations that maybe aren't in Long Beach Gives, but also just a broader sense. So she'll be doing more of an extended marketing plan. The ones that are specific to Long Beach Gives are specific to this campaign. So how to, frame your case for giving, how to set up your marketing campaign specifically for the next 4, 5, 6 months leading up to September 24th. The training that she does for TNP on its side is more like your entire marketing campaign on social media for your organization for an entire year and kind of ongoing. So they're a little bit different. So each training will be specifically designed solely for Long Beach Gives. And so May 8th is the notification day. If your organization has been accepted to participate or not, you'll be hearing from us by May 8th regardless. That was a question that just popped up as well. So, so those are the key dates. Application date is the most important one, right? May 1st at 5 p.m. That is our target date for application deadline. So that's the most important one from everybody. And it is a very streamlined, short application. So I do believe, was there an ability for them to come back and complete it? Can they pause in the middle of the application and complete it later, or is it all in one sitting?
It's all in one sitting.
Okay.
And it's short. It should take you like 20 minutes. And that's why we have that PDF. So you can, I know some applicants want to review it with their team or the board. And we definitely understand that. But the application, it's next year on the platform. It will be great. And actually even you won't have to apply every year. You can just update your your information. But this year we're still on, we're piecing everything together, and we're on Google Forms.
And do know that you can download a PDF of the application to prepare ahead of time, so that way when you do sit down to complete your application online, you have all the information at your ready. A couple of more questions have come in. One organization says they were under the Arts Council umbrella last year. Will that be the same this year? No, actually, everybody is able to fundraise all on their own. We're not doing the fundraising campaign under specifically the Arts Council, so you can join in under your own organization, 501c3, so that way you're not operating just as a pure fundraiser. You have a full-fledged campaign under your own. And will TMP be able to compile best practices from last year's campaign, or who participated last year and had success from specific actions they took? We actually incorporated those into the trainings this year. So we did a lot of evaluation. All of you who completed evaluations from last year, thank you so much. We took those into consideration. We molded this year's campaign to utilize the best practices from last year, to match up with our new CivicCorps platform, and to also even right now, we are adjusting things for around our current situation with this pandemic. So we will be adjusting things the whole way through to try and make sure that we're having the best campaign going forward. So even, I know that Julie mentioned Giving USA, that slide, the Giving USA presentation with Phoenix Philanthropy will be on June 30th this year. And even from that, we'll be looking at molding a few campaign ideals out of how giving trends occurred last year and what trends we'll be seeing this year as well.
And all the participants will be given marketing guides, and or it'll be one guide, so it'll be a campaign guide, and it'll include some sample copy for emails, posts. We'll give you all of the assets for your social media preparation. We really want to support you. And then also, I think that question came from Shared Science. If there is anything you think we should add, or something we can do, hopefully we can do it this year, but we definitely have a planning list to keep adding and making this more robust, and even how we can support you as in a mentorship role, not necessarily on the platform year round, because we really do want to make online giving something that's part of your planning for your fundraising.
We have one more question in there, and Julie and Nico, I'm going to ask you to answer this one. If the agency official address is outside of Long Beach, will that be allowed?
You need to have a program site in Long Beach. So as long as your delivery of services benefits Long Beach, your agency address is not a concern.
Any other questions coming in? We'll give just about one more minute. I know some people are still processing.
Chat, May 8th is when we'll notify all applicants whether or not they were selected.
Yeah. May 1st and May 8th. I think that's it. I want to thank you all for joining us this morning. You are all incredible. And for those that are continuing to work on the front lines as essential workers, thank you so much. Be safe, be well. For everyone else, be safe, be well, just the same. And we look forward to seeing you online. All the training's online this year. We don't have a seating capacity issue or anything like that. So we'll be seeing you this way, but do let us know how we can support you through this campaign. Don't be shy. Please don't wait till September either. Seek us out now. Let us know, because the longer time we have to prep everything, the better prepared we all are. And we're just really looking forward to connecting with all of you again. And we're getting a lot of thank yous into our chat and on our Q&A right now. Thank you. This is all from all of you to all of you. So Julie, Nico, any closing thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, it's going to be really a exciting campaign, and I look forward to one day having us all in the same room.
Agreed.
And I just want to thank everyone for joining us. The virtual teas that, coffees that we've had so far, I definitely want to have more. We are really looking how we can support you, and online giving is never been more important than right now. And so while we miss all your faces and being in the same room, we really want to take this opportunity with Long Beach Gives to help you feel stronger and feel more confident in your online giving strategy. And we hope to hear from you. We really look forward to working with you over this summer. And yes, reach out to us. We want to hear from you. We want to connect.
And hashtag Long Beach Gives. Hashtag blast it out there. Hashtag Long Beach Gives. Long Beach, we love you. We love all of you, but thank you, everybody. We're going to wrap this up, and the video will be posted up for viewing if you want to share this with any of your other team members or board members. Julie, one more comment?
Yeah, please don't wait till the very last minute to apply.
Please.
Oh, yeah, that is one thing. Is so we know there's a lot of traffic, so we've actually been reaching out to as many nonprofits just to make sure they saw the email, that it didn't get lost in the deadline. So the earlier you can apply, it's a quick one, the less phone calls that we're going to be making to make sure that everyone got the application and doesn't have any questions. It's a quick application, and yes, we do appreciate early applicants.
And I will say this too, if you know of another organization that hasn't yet applied, but you think, gosh, they would benefit from this, share the wealth. This is a healthy competition, but I will tell you this, I was absolutely blown away by how many people gave to multiple organizations by signing on to the campaign last year and learning about a new organization when they went to sign on, and they were going to donate to one and read 4 or 5 other campaigns while they were on the site and decided to donate to them as well. So it really does just breed generosity, and part of our nonprofit community is supporting each other. So hopefully if you know of an organization that you think would be right in line for this and they just haven't gotten the notice yet, please share it with them. We really want to be able to widen the impact of this campaign for next year and benefit more organizations. So thank you so much for everybody who joined us. We appreciate all of you. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll be in touch soon.
Yeah.
Take care. Bye.